It's puzzle time, and Sudoku Sleuth has a new case for you. I hope you're up for solving this case with me today. Our cases are often Sudoku variants, meaning they're Sudoku puzzles with a twist that allows us to fill in a grid that's completely devoid of numbers, such as the one we have in front of us today. Today's puzzle seems to have no shortage of variant rules. We've got white dots, green dots, orange dots, blue diagonal lines, and we have the rules for us today to explain it all. So normal Sudoku rules applies, which is excellent. We've got the digits number 1 through to 9 in every row, column, and box. Then we have cells separated by white dots have consecutive values. So for example, this would be 3, 4, 5. That's completely valid, and they have to be consecutive. Now, green dots I've not seen before. Cells separated by green dots, such as the one we have here, have a ratio of 3 to 1. So presumably that means 1 and 3 are valid pairs here in this domino. And cells separated by orange dots have a value difference of 3, and they've given us an example here, very helpful of Tingo, 147, 258, 369. Not all dots are given. That's helpful because negative constraints are always quite tough to spot. Then the diagonals, digits along the marked diagonals may not repeat. So if you think about it, we've got 9 columns / 9 rows. And since they're not repeating, it means we should be expecting the digits 1 through 9 on each of these diagonals that we have here. And then we have one more rule. A digit may not appear in the same relative cell in more than one box. So a disjoint sets rule. So for example, if this is a 4, even though it's not on a diagonal, it doesn't see it in the same box, it's not in the same row, it's not in the same column, this can't be a 4, and indeed it actually throws us an error here. So that's all the rules. Let's get to solving this case. Right. I can immediately look at box number 7 down here, and I think, if you think about digits that have the ratio of 3 to 1, you can think of 139 is one set, 26 is another set, and then there's nothing else. So if you have a 4, obviously a 4 would multiply by 3 to give us 12, which is not possible in normal Sudoku rules. Now, because we have 3 cells joined up with green dots, it means that this has to be the 3 paired up with a 1, 9, because if it is a 2, 6, clearly we'd have to repeat one of those digits in these 3 cells. And that's quite helpful up here on box 1, because since the 3 can see this pair and this green dot, it can't be a 1, 3, it can't be a 9, 3. This is indeed a 2, 6 pair, leaving us with a 1, 3 or a 3, 9 pair here. And that immediately tells us the order. This has to be a 2, since 9 can't be adjacent to anything else, nor can the 6. This is a 1, 3 pair. This has to be the 9, 3, 1, and we're off and running with this case. The 9 can see down here, so that's a 1, that's a 9. 1 can only be adjacent to one digit, which is 2. Adding a 3, this has to be a 5. The 1 has a difference of 3, so this can only be a 4. The 5, therefore, is not a 4, it's got to be a 6, a 7, and then an 8. So that's box 7 done. You've got a 7, 8 pair looking in column 3 in box 1. So the 7, 8 pair has to be in these 2 cells, and then you need to have a 4, 5 pair to complete this box. And then to complete the column, we have 2, 3, 9. We need a 1 and 4 in here. a 5 and 6 in there. Super. Now, where does this take us next? So I'm generally drawn to these green dots because they tend to be quite restricted. It's just we don't have a lot in the row, nor the box, and clearly not in the columns to help us understand what these are. So I'm really, the only way I can sort of move us forward in this puzzle is to take a look at the diagonals. And I'm just drawn to this box here where it already sees a lot of cells. So we can see, for example, this says sees 1, 2, 3 in the column, 4 and 6 on the diagonal. So this is fairly restricted already. This can only be 5, 7, 8, and 9. Just not enough really to see what else is next. Down here, let's take a look at this green pair that I was initially drawn to but discounted. I'm sort of running out of ideas here. So we know these are 2, 6 or 3, 9. Sorry, 1, 3 or 9. So if you look at this cell using the disjoint set, you've got 3 here and a 2 here. So we know this is not 2 or 3. So if it is a 3, the 3 and the 1, 9 are this way. And if it's 2, 6, the 2 and the 6 are in this way. Now, if we try and fill this in, because you've got all of these immediate cells, that will make this quite awkward to fill. I'm sure this will disambiguate it. So if it's a 2, one has to be here, a 3 and a 4. The 2's paired up with a 6. A difference of 3 can't be the 3 because that's already gone. So this would have to be a 9 in here. If it's a 3, this would have to be, so if it's a 3, this would have to be 1 or 9, which would make this either 4 or 6. Not 6, because we've got that up here. Yeah, sorry, 1 plus 3 to get us to 4, or 9 minus 3 to get us to 6. So given it's not, it can't be a 6, this can't be a 9. And then we've got 3, 1, 4, and then there you go. What do these two digits have to be? Because if this is a 3, this is a 2, 4 pair, and I've already established this would have to be a 1 and a 4. So this isn't a 3, this is a 2, 6, and it's a 9, because these need to be a 1, 3 pair down here. 1, 3, 4, leaving 5, 7, 8 to complete this column in this box. Okay. So that's not 9. Still doesn't tell us very much. Let's take a look at this orange pair next. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, or 6. So this is one of 5, 7, 8, or 9. There's no disjoint rule breaking up any of that. So if it's a 5, this could be 2 or 8. That's fine. 7 can only be a 4, which it can't be, so not a 7. And 8 has to be paired up with a 5, which it can't be because of this disjoint cell down here. So that's not an 8. And if it's a 9, it must be paired up with a 6, which it can't because of the 6 here in this row. So in fact, this is a 5 with a 2, 8. This is not 5. And this is helpful. That fixes these pairs. We know we need a 5 down here. Doesn't see anything on the diagonal. So 1, 2, 3. Let's look down here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This can only be a 6 or a 7. It's just not very helpful on its own. Not sure. Let's move on. So we've got this set 1, 2, 3. It's not here. It's not there. So these have to be this, but it's 4 of them rather than 3 cells. 1, 2, 3. Almost, but not quite. This would have helped us figure out if this is a 2 or an 8. So let's take a look at this joint diagonal, this union here. So this can be a 1, not a 2, 3, 4, or a 5, or a 6. It could also be a 7, 8, or 9. Still quite a few options in here. Probably missing something. Let's take a look at this. So it can be a 1, 2, not 3, 4, or 5, or 6. It can also be a 7, 8, but not 9 because of this disjoint set here. So adding 3 or subtracting 3 from all of these. So 1 goes with a 4, possible. 2 goes with a 5, possible. 7 goes with a 4, which is covered, and 8 goes with a 5, covered. So this is only a 4-5 pair. Can't be anything else. That really doesn't help us move this forward at all. All right, this is not the 5 because of the diagonal up here. This is a 5. So this column is surprisingly restricted. We still need to figure out where the 1 and 3 can go. And they actually can't go on the cell that I am on because we've got 1, 3 in the row here. So in fact, it's a 1, 3 pair. And this is 2, 7, or 8. It's actually 7 or 8 because of the 2 on the diagonal. That's now a 7, 8 pair. And in fact, we know the order because of the 7 in the row. So that's 8, 7, 8. And now this is a 1, 4, 7 set, a 5, 6, 8 set, and this is not a 6. Everything else seems to be valid for the moment. And let's continue with that. So this 8 down here means this is a 2, a 7. Therefore, this is not a 7. You sort of have to stay on top of this disjoint set because they're very difficult to spot after you've placed the digit. And if you just have that discipline to immediately update your pencil marks, you won't miss them. And same goes really for diagonals. They can be quite tricky to spot later. So that 7, remove 7 as an option from both of these. And if there's no 7 in here, can you still get to 4? Yep, with a 1, 1, 8, 9, that's fine. Do we have anything that helps us with this 1, 3 pair at all? Don't think so. It's okay. Let's take a look at this row. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not an 8. Not particularly helpful, but we'll take what we can get with this puzzle. This 7 up on the corner tells us that this is a 6. And we've also got now another 4 set that can help us complete. So we need a 1, 2, 3, 7. This is not a 7. This is 7 has to be in here. This is not a 3. 1 and 2 are valid everywhere else. And up here, this is not a 1. And it appears this is not a 9. That the rest are all okay. Not an 8 here because of this digit on the diagonal down there. And let's keep looking what else. So let's ask ourselves where is 7 in box 9. So you can see it eliminates it from this row here. The diagonal eliminates the 7 here. So this has to be the 7. We still have to place the 1, so 1, 3 removes them. And we still need a 9 somewhere in this box, but all these options seem to be on the table. All right, we've got most of the digits in column 9. So let's take a look at what we've got left. So 4, 8, and 9. That's not an 8. It absolutely can be a 4. That's also not an 8. So that's an 8. That's not a 9. That's a 4, 9. And we need a 4 in here somewhere. Disjoint set's not really helping us. All right, I think it's probably time to take a look at the diagonals. We've completed so much of it. So we need to remember the digits 1 through to 9 on each of these diagonals. So if we take a look at this diagonal, we need the numbers 1, 3, 4, and 9. And let's just quickly tidy this up. This is not a 9. 1, 3, 4 appeals valid. This was already restricted. 1, 3, 4, 9. This is not a 4. Is there any other restriction? Doesn't seem so. All right, not 3. So that's a 1, 9 pair. That's very helpful. So that's got to be a 3, 4 pair. Does the 3, 4 index help us anywhere in the grid? And the answer is not yet. So this is 1, 3, therefore we're left with 2, 4. You can see 1, 3 in here. That's all the pencil marking we can do right now in box 9. So that's a 1, 9 pair, so not a 1. Leaves a 2, 8s, which can only pair up with a 5. So we actually now know that this is a 5. This is an 8. Therefore, this is a 7. That's not 8. This is not 2. So we have 1, 4, 3, 9 to place. So we know it's not 1 or 9. It's 1 of 3 or 4. Does indexing help us at all in here? Not sure. Not sure. But we've got now a 3, 4 pair or 1, 9 pair. You know, box 5 is starting to become extremely constrained. Now let's take a look at the opposite diagonal for a second. So we've got, helpfully, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we still need to place 1, 2, 8, and 9. So actually this has to be the 1, because you can see the 2, the 8, and the 9. And this is the 1. Can't have the 9 in here. So this is 1 of 2 or 8. There isn't anything restricting us, is there? And actually the 1 helps solve what's in here. That's 9, that's 1, that's 3. That's not 4. It's a 5, 8 pair. Does it help us with anything? Really, 2, 3, 4. That's a set. And the 1, yep, that's a 9. 3, 6. 1. Not a 1. Yep. 7. Or 1. 4, 3, 4, 2. I think we've almost got this now. So taking a look at row 4 where I pause for a second, where does 9 go? It's already placed actually. So that's a 2, 8, 5, 6, 5, 9, 8, 2. Now we need a 6, 7, 10. We know the order of those. 6, 7. I'm sure this is going to be quite easy to solve from here on. We can just quickly, that's not 4, that's not 5, that's not 9. This is 3. It's the 1 and an 8. Are they indexed anywhere? Nothing I can spot. The 4, 5, and 9. Sure, there's something I'm missing. Again, nothing obvious. Right, so this is a 2, 7, 6. 2, 6, 7, I should say. That's the 2. 6 and 7. Have we got? Yeah, we do. Got this 6 here telling us the order. That's 7, that's 6. Let's see, we've got 3, 8, 9, 5, 4, 9, 1, 8. So that's, no, pardon me, that's 7. That's 2. 1, 2, 3. We need a 4, 5, 6, 5, and 6. And that's the mystery solved for today. That's quite, it's quite an involved puzzle if you think about it. Disjoint sets always means that you're constantly having to look across the entire puzzle to try and place digits, and it's absolutely necessary to solve this particular puzzle. Once you get going and you can see the immediate break-in with this set of 3, you can get fairly quickly to finish columns 1, 2, and 3 at some pace, but the rest just requires a bit more work. But what an enjoyable puzzle. Thank you very much, Tingo, for giving us this gift, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please feel free to leave a comment below on how you've got on with this particular puzzle, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.